Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. Another paid request. This time for Elliott. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, re-reviews, commentaries, whatever, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. And this is for 2 episodes of Firefly, episodes 11 and 12. Now, like I said before, the charm of the show as I've watched it is because of the characters, is because of the way the characters interact with each other, and the way the actors portray them, especially Nathan Fillion. Definitely had that good charismatic lead that should have led to a lot of movies, but sadly didn't. And the first thing you see in episode 11 is him stranded in the desert naked, which definitely gives you oh, what the hell led to this initial response. Then it goes to 72 hours earlier, and they bring back the character Saffron, the quote devil woman, who tried to fuck up the crew, tried to kill Nathan Fillion, tried to get their ship fucked up and be sold. And she was in a previous episode. She comes back in at the end to say, I want you to work with me to steal this laser tech, this weapon, ancient weapon. So come up with a plan to steal it, a way to deposit the weapon, to get out there safely, using this trash drone that the one girl, who's the tech girl, is going to hack into. And pretty much the episode is them taking this plan to its fruition. And you have little other subplots going on. Like you have Summer Glau and her brother, the doctor Simon. They realize Adam Baldwin tried to fuck them over in the previous or 2 episodes. So at least they do stick with a bit of continuity with the show. Just not every show did that. But then Adam Baldwin, during the mission, gets fucked up and the doctor saves his life. And then after saving his life, Summer Glau threatens him if you fuck us over again. Nathan Fillion goes with Saffron to steal this thing, but then you realize that the guy they're stealing it from was another lover of hers. But I guess you get the idea that maybe this guy meant more to her than others did, so it was a bit more personal. I thought the way Nathan Fillion kind of pecked at her and the way he kind of egged her on and made her kind of break down a bit of her shell. That was interesting to see because you see that there's the holes, so to speak, in Saffron's personality, her facade. I mean, I didn't like this episode as much as others. I mean, the plan itself was kind of, all to deal with this trash drone. Not a whole lot else. So it wasn't just as exciting of a plan. Like, for example, the one before where they had to enter this hospital. And just like the funny bits of them trying to remember all this terminology. And then they didn't even need to use it. That kind of fun twist of they learned memorized all the stuff. And then when they get there, sure, calling by. And they didn't have to say anything. So it was like, what? We learned all that for nothing? Like that, and seeing the futuristic bits of a hospital and this show's history, that just seemed like just much more interesting plan, much more interesting backdrop compared to this. I do like the line delivery of calling the girl, you dirty, dirty whore. Like, Nathan Fillion definitely made this episode work. They said the others, didn't have, like, Adam Baldwin. He just knocked out for quite a bit. And then I don't give a shit about Summer Glau or her brother, the doctor. And then they save his life. So that whole bit I didn't care about because, like I said, Summer Glau and her brother, the doctor, to me are the weakest parts of this show. To Summer Glau, I don't think she's that much of an actress. At least based on this show. To be fair, Terminator, Sarah Connor Chronicles, she does do a better job. So you say it's the writing. So to be fair, but just I don't care about So basically, her acting is just, I don't give a shit about her character. She's probably my least favorite character in the whole focal group of the show. She's the super-powered freakazoid experimented on. I'm like, whatever. Don't give a fuck. So, I mean, hell, I saw similar shit done better in fucking Fifth Element with Mila Jovovich. And, like, her brother, Simon, I don't give a shit about him either. He's my second least favorite character. The others don't have a lot. Like, Alan Tudyk, it's sad that Alan Tudyk, like, it's getting to the end of this, there's only one season. Alan Tudyk was really underused in this show, I felt. I mean, there's the episode with him and Nathan Fillion where they're on a mission together and they get caught together, and then the second command chooses, of course, her husband over Nathan Fillion. But Alan Tudyk, he has some fun lines he gets to spout off, but man, it felt like he could have been utilized a lot more, because Alan Tudyk is a very solid actor. I liked him in Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Love that movie. And I just feel throughout the show he was more underutilized than he should have been. Like, he has nice moments, but like I said, he should have been utilized a lot more is what I'm getting at. And the tech girl, man, she reminds me so much of, was it Allison Hannigan was her name in Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Like, was it Willow? Can't remember the character's name. It's been a while since I've seen Buffy. Pretty much Buffy's best friend. Reminds me so much of her. So, like, almost like just, they took a different actress, but they put that character into this show, but she knows more about tech than, but I mean, she's not a bad actress. And it's just like, I guess at this day I thought it was kind of a meh episode. Like, the charisma of the cast keeps the episodes going, but it's not really an episode that garnered much of other merit for me. Saffron, I guess, she worked fine as the villain before, but as an ongoing thing, not so much, at least for me. I did like that at least they showcased Nathan Fillion's character as a bit more competent than would let on, because he created this plan that if he did double cross, then the escort lady that's with them, she would get the drop on Saffron and get the weapon before she could. So it was nice that they had a backup plan, so at least doesn't make Nathan Fillion's character seem like the dumbest guy ever. I do like the bit at the end where they find him naked and he's walking around, and the way the other cast members react to it, especially Alan Tudyk. I thought that was pretty funny. That definitely got some chuckles out of me. As I said, Nathan Fillion is leading man material. It's a shame that he did not get a lot of movie roles other than Slither, but many movie roles as the lead. It's just kind of dumbfounding to me. But I know he did that TV show Castle, which from what I understand, it seemed like he hated working on that show. Him and the lead female co-star, they hated working together. I don't know if it was like a moonlighting thing with Bruce Willis and Sybil. I don't know. I don't know. It seemed like other shows it seemed like he enjoyed his time working on this show and working on, was it The Rookie he's on now? But Castle, I think, was like his biggest hit. And it seemed like the one he liked working on the least. Could be wrong on that, but just that's what it seems like. So the episode is kind of one of the lower tier ones for me. Like, it's another plan, but it's, I guess if you want to get a little bit more into the Saffron villainous character and see a bit of that she cared about this guy, and that it seemed like there's a bit different special. I guess you want to learn more about her bits and pieces. But I didn't really care to learn more about her. And like the escape, there wasn't really that much of an exciting bits of the escape. And like I said, the whole plan is just to deal with this trash drone. So okay, whatever. Episode 12, I would say I liked a lot more. I thought the story was a bit more interesting. The crew is hanging out. They're supposed to get the shipment, and there's a dead guy in there. And just Adam Bowen's delivery. Why y'all order a dead guy for? And of course, Adam Bowen I've enjoyed ever since I saw him in Full Metal Jacket and Predator 2, and I thought he fit well on the show. And you find out that the guy who's dead was a soldier who worked with Nathan Fillion and the second command lady. And we even see a flashback in the war, and Nathan Fillion's character being a bit more joyful and exuberant. This is before they lost. And there's some funny bits in that where she's telling the younger guy, don't let them know where you are. That's one of the big rules. And then here's Nathan Fillion yelling, screaming, ah, and shooting and hooping and hollering and come get me. Like that. It seemed, in retrospect, predictable, but that was still a pretty entertaining, funny moment. And pretty much their job is to bring back this body for his family, which Nathan and them are going to do. And there's people chasing the body, and it's Richard Birdie? And I recognize this guy. He was on this TV show I watched a bit of back in the day called The Sentinel, which was on for a few years, where it's a guy who is in the jungle, and because of his experience there, his senses were heightened. Like his senses of hearing and sight and such were all heightened. And it was called The Sentinel, which is ironic because that show lasted more than this show. Although, to be fair, more people probably talk about and remember Firefly than The Sentinel. So it's one of those weird things that, like, The Sentinel lasted longer, because I think it was, on UPN or something? But then Firefly lasted shorter, but is remembered more. But I do remember not minding The Sentinel. I don't know if there's a DVD set of them. I wouldn't mind rewatching that show. But it was, it was nice to see him in there. And then you come to find out that the dead body's not dead. He was just in this sort of coma thing, and he's alive. And you find out that he's actually harvesting these human organs for smuggling. And he uses his own body to do it. I'd say it was a bit like I thought that was an interesting bit of the story. This whole idea of smuggling organs within yourself. There's a new turn to organ harvesting. The way this younger guy plays off with Nathan Fillion, and Nathan Fillion's kind of choosing either between his crew or this guy I used to know back in the day, as he gets more and more hyper and more paranoid on, are you going to turn me in? There's a bit of a chase scene between the bad guys and them where they go through the snow. And, the effects are there. It's a TV show from back in the day, so they don't have the biggest budget. But at least the snow creates a bit of a different backdrop. It's usually, as this was pretty much meant to be like a cowboy in space type of show, usually you see landscape of deserts. So seeing the snow at least gave a different bit of landscape for its background. And I thought the ending was nicely done. Spoiler alert. The guy's paranoid, and he thinks he's going to be turned in, and Nathan Fillion has to shoot him because the guy was threatening one of his crew. And then the guy, as he's shot, he realizes that the preacher guy, Ron Glass, had a plan where the bad guys come and go, well, you say you're cops, but you didn't call anybody in, you didn't call anything in, so I don't think you're official, so that means you're not supposed to be here, so we could kill you and no one would know. And it's kind of that irony of, if this guy just shut up, everything would have been perfectly fine, but he sealed his own fate, he sealed his own coffin. I thought the actor did a good job because he's apologizing, and I felt sincerity in that, and I thought the emotion was sincere. And when he died, I felt bad, and I thought the actor, despite his mannerisms before, conveyed that emotion, and that's not the easiest thing to do. It'd be very easy to be like, I don't give a shit if this guy dies, he tried to kill one of your own. But I thought the way they handled that was very efficient. And like I said, I thought it was a pretty decent story. Has some nice dramatic moments with Nathan Fillion and some of the crew members. There's not a whole lot for some of the, like Alan Tudyk, these other actors. They don't get to do a whole lot. That's the thing when you have a show, when you have so many characters, it's hard for some to get their moment to shine. The hope is that you don't go into more seasons where you can do that, but obviously that wasn't the case here. So yeah, that episode definitely I thought was a bit more interesting. What was the line? Oh, when he gets back to life, was it Adam Baldwin? It's like, pretty spry for a dead fella. I don't know if it was Adam Baldwin or Nathan Fillion that said that. I thought it was kind of a funny line delivery, though. Well, pretty spry for a dead fella. Overall, not a bad episode. That was pretty decent. And yeah, Firefly, like I said, watching it, it's my first time watching it the whole show through. Been enjoying it for the most part. I don't know if there's really an episode I've hated. I mean, there's been some less than others, but more good than bad. More good than bad. Like I said, I don't care for the Summer Glau and her brother, the Doctor characters. I wish Alan Tudyk was utilized a bit more. I'm always down for more action, but everything can use more action. But other than that, not bad. Like I said, the charm, the camaraderie of the characters, I just see is what made this show enjoyable for people, is because they enjoyed the characters and the way they interacted with each other. And Joss Whedon, whether you like or hate the guy, he knew how to do that. This is also why people enjoy Buffy. Because that's why people enjoy those first couple Avengers movies. That's a big reason why, is to get this group of characters and seeing how they interact with each other. And that is the first Avengers movie I don't love. It's alright, but one of the positives is how the characters interact with each other, like Iron Man and Captain America. So, which is, I'm sure, is why they got someone like Joss Whedon to do that. So, there you go. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later.